Welcome to the CEO Crowd Show. I'm your host and coach, Rebecca Nesbitt. And after working in coaching for nearly a decade, from government organizations to $1 million a year coaching companies to now having my own business, I realized that we are not meant to do this alone. And that's what the CEO Crowd stands for. It's the idea that to grow your business, you need to connect with other business owners that have that real, tangible vibe, that are really doing the work and are in it as much as you are. And that's what you'll find in this show. It'll be some in-depth coaching as well as entrepreneurial tips to help you along the way. And today we're talking about how to kick off the year with the most important thing that your business needs to succeed. And that's market research. We're going to cover how to make it easy, epic questions to ask, and also, I'm going to share with you the complete behind the scenes, like, let's unveil our latest market research results. So, this is gold if you are working with female entrepreneurs. These are three of the things that female entrepreneurs right now are struggling with. And hey, if you're not looking for that market research, maybe you'll find out that you're not alone. So, 2024 is the year of returning to delivering epic service and creating amazing offers instead of this kind of unpredictable idea of a fan club where everything is maximum scalability, where you put everything behind a paywall. And not to be confused with give everything for free. I just feel like something's been lost in the online coaching world. And I really noticed this between having worked with companies that have been charging, $10,000 for a coaching package to then spending over $10,000 on a coaching package and noticing how much more I was getting in one place in regards to the other. And I think that it's a lesson for us all that it is the time to invest in your people and to care about them and to ask them what they need instead of you telling them what they need. Like, they know, you don't. And that's why we're here. So let's take all of the drama out of how to make it easy. And this is something I would do. I would pick up my phone, and to do my market research, I would voice note, and I would pick someone to voice note. I've got three people that are coming to the top of my head that I'll be reaching out to in the next few weeks for our next round of market research for our in-person events. And I would just say, hey, I'm doing a program right now because I actually am doing a program in January. I'm doing a program right now to launch in-person events for our CEO crowd. Before the launch, I've got to do some market research, and I want to make sure that we deliver exactly what women need. I really value your insight. Would you be open to answering some questions about an in-person event on a call next week or this week or tomorrow? Whatever that may be for you. So I know that that was a lot of information, but that's like less than a 1 minute voice note. And all I'm saying is, hey, their name, right? It's really important. This is why I'm reaching out, because I'm creating this, asking them to jump on a call with me and giving them a timeline. So, hey, their name, I'm reaching out because I'm doing a program. I'm reaching out because I'm launching in-person events, like putting that in with, combining that, with what you're creating, asking for what you need. I need time with you. I need you to answer questions. I need your insight, and giving them a timeline. I want it to be this week. I want it to be next week. I want it to be tomorrow, whatever that may be. And that's it. Don't let your brain overthink this and make it more complex. I genuinely just chose women who, whether she can attend the event or not, is completely irrelevant. It's someone that I love working with, I value the opinion of, that fits my niche. So this is real cause for let's overthink things. And the thing is that quite often we're trying to optimize something that we haven't done yet, or we're trying to trust the process we haven't done yet. So if you've never done market research before, this is going to feel like it's a big deal, but I promise you that it's not. And that it's not that you need the perfect script. I gave you a script, you have it. It's just that you need to pick those people and do it. And if you're kind of swithering between niches and not really sure, then just pick someone you like and start there. It's Magical, I know. I know you came to this, you thought market research, cool, I'm gonna get all the nuggets. And I'm like, just do it. But that's how it can be easy, is that you literally are just sending a voice note, or you're typing out a message, changing the name and sending it to a few people, and just like throwing your phone away and be like, I did it and I'm done. So know that your response rate might not be 100%, and that's okay. The typical response rate is 1 in 10. So if you get more than that, you're a baller, well done. If you get less than that, then it's like, cool, go back to the messaging, make sure you've used the script. And if you get less, if you reach out to 10 people and not a single person messages you back, I want you to directly message me and I will get you someone for your market research personally. So with that, that's how to make it easy. And I think that then the next thing that you come across when you're in this process of market research is, well, what do I ask? And here's some epic questions to ask while sharing with you the difference between the two types of market research that you can do. So one way is you can get on a call with someone. That's what I was kind of pitching in my voice note that we did together. I love to be on a call. I highly recommend that, purely because you're going to get so much depth in the answer that you do not get with a questionnaire, a Google form, right? So one way is you can do it through a call. The second way is through a questionnaire. So that would be like, you can create a Google form, you copy the link, you send it to people, they respond in their own time as well. So that's another kind of like side note niggle about sending a form, is that people will get back to you whenever they want, and unless you give them incentive to do it within a time frame, like you're going to get a free call, or I'm going to send you a Starbucks gift card, or I'm going to give you $100 on Amazon, then they are not going to complete it in the time frame. They don't have to. They're doing this out of the kindness of their heart at this point. You have not offered them anything, you've just asked for their time. So you can't really be upset if they don't give it to you ASAP. People are busy. So when it comes to what form of market research you do, whether it's a call or a questionnaire, it's your choice. The difference is really in the quality. You will get a deeper answer from a call, period, but it's your choice. So I want to give you some ideas of questions that you can ask either way, whatever you choose to do, because the other difference between these two styles of doing your market research is the way that you ask questions. So these questions will typically lead you to the same result, but they're slightly differently phrased. And again, for in-depth calls, you're going to get a lot more depth. So for in-depth calls, you're looking for the depth. So a question might be, what is your biggest obstacle in your area of expertise? So for me, I would say, what is your biggest obstacle in business right now? What is your biggest obstacle with your health right now? What is your biggest obstacle in your relationship right now? Because your business exists to solve a problem. If you don't know the problem that you solve, you have a whole other host of issues that is not market research. Because if it's not solving a problem, there is literally no point in someone buying it. And the problem may be like, for example, if you run a luxury brand, like think Louis Vuitton, the problem that you solve is no one wants to look like hashtag basic and they want a fancy bag. Even though in some circles, Louis Vuitton would probably be considered hashtag basic. But I mean, I'm not a fashionista, I'm just an entrepreneur. So do with that information what you will, but it will always solve a problem. It will always make someone feel a certain way that solves a problem. So if you've got product-based business, and that will really help you. So that's why we do, for an in-depth call, I would ask for what the biggest obstacle is. But for a form, then I would just type, what areas do you need support in? And then I would have a drop-down list of like 15 to 20 areas. And I would say like choose 3 to 5 and let them come to you with, these are the things that I'm struggling with. Because if you're in a call, people are typically more open because, first of all, they've agreed to come on the call anyway. And if they were really shy or introverted, they wouldn't have come on the call. And with a form, it's a lot easier to help those people because you're kind of spoon feeding the answers. The only challenge is that you're not going to get that depth. But as I said, it's completely up to you. As much as I'm swaying you the other way, it's completely up to you. And next question that's super, super useful is, in your opinion, and this is for calls, in your opinion, what are some of the most common challenges that, and this is where you put your niche, so I would say entrepreneurs. In your opinion, what are some of the most common challenges that entrepreneurs face in your industry? Right. In your opinion, what are some of the most common challenges that moms face when they're homeschooling? Whatever it is for you, insert your own business here. And that's going to, oh my gosh, you would not believe. Because the great thing about this question is it takes you out of the equation. You as the person that is the market research attendee. It means that it's not about you, it's about all of these other people that are experiencing the same challenges as you. And quite often, the challenges that that person's either gone through or that they genuinely see around them or is going through right now will all come up. Oh my gosh, it's gold. And the thing is that that's really challenging to ask in a form. And I know this because I did that in my last form because I wanted to test it out. And the answers are so much shorter and they're actually pretty brash. They're quite like to the point and quite savage. And it was a wonderful answer, but from the in-depth calls that I did, oh my gosh, this answer was just like so much more gold. And a way that you can phrase this then in your forms as opposed to your calls, and something that I've noticed that this does not work as well in a call, this particular question, is if you had to ask Google for some solutions to your challenges, what questions would you type in the search bar? If you had to ask Google or YouTube, your choice, for some solutions to your challenges, what questions would you type in the search bar? So this question is really great because then you have all of the titles that you're going to use if you have podcasts, if you YouTube, if you're using it as a hook to pull someone into a social media post, you're going to have all of it because they just literally type out a million questions. It's like this question is gold in forms. In person or in calls, it doesn't work as well. It's a little bit more challenging for people. People need time, or maybe they need to sit their laptops to do it. But I found that that one works a lot better in a form. And also, these questions tend to give you very similar answers. So that's why I popped them together. So I hope that that was useful as some really epic questions to ask in your market research. Another thing that I would say is really key for market research if you're working with the entrepreneur space. And do you know what? Even if you're working with anyone else too, this is important, is asking people where they spend their time online and then also asking them where they buy online. Because what I find in my market research is that people spend most of their time on Instagram, but they are more likely to buy from Facebook. It's really interesting. So your demographic may be different. That was a little insight into what's coming up next with our latest research results. But I hope that was helpful because that is something that is gold. When you know where your audience are and you know that you're in that right space, chef's kiss, it's perfect. And let's move on to our latest research results. So this research was done probably definitely within the last 6 months. I would say in the last 4 months, I've done this market research. And my market research spans a period of time because I like to ask a set of questions to a set of people and I like to move on and do it again and merge those two together. So this is the latest market research that we have. And these are the top 3 pain points that we find for female entrepreneurs. So the first pain point is posting consistently on social media. Can I get a like hallelujah? Yes. Thank goodness people are saying it, that it is a challenge. And I think as well, if you've been listening to the show for any period of time, you'll know that I have like this little like bugbear with the word consistency because people might be posting, once a week on social media and they're like, I need to post more consistently. And I'm like, no, you want to post more frequently. They are two different things. So I know that this one is a struggle for people. And I know that I have a little bugbear with it myself, but I just wanted to highlight where I'm kind of coming from when it comes to consistency. But for a lot of the women that responded to our market research, posting consistently meant posting every single day. So a quote that I got direct from my one-to-one is finding my voice on social media as a struggle. So these one-to-ones are my kind of calls with people. So one of my one-to-ones said, finding my voice on social media is a struggle. And I don't think she is alone. So if you're listening to this just to find that you are not alone, then here you go, sister, in point one. And another question that I got actually during this research, specifically in the forms, was how can I stay consistent with posting? So if you're looking for a title for something, whether it is a social media post, whether it is YouTube podcast, then great title, how to stay consistent with posting. Especially if you do how to stay consistent with posting over the holidays, how to stay consistent with posting while your family's in town, adding a little nuance to it could make you stand out. And the kind of vibe that I got from this is more of a personal reflection, was there's a lot of comparison, and that's what's also making it really challenging for people to post online, because confidence was flagged a lot of times. And I think that the two really went together. I think that in discussions about burnout, social media was really cited as a cause for that. And it was really challenging. This one came up more often than not. And you can see the visible struggle in people, because it's like, I want to do all the things. I want to put my business out there. I want to grow. And then it's like, oh, but posting every day is so hard. How do I batch my content was another really great question we got asked. So what we found out of this was people need support with social media. So any form of social media support you can give them, then great. I know that there are social media managers that have developed memberships, and they've added, every month we'll take some stock imagery for you. We'll write some captions for you to just like really help people. Now, that's not the space that I'm in. So, what we chose to do, and I'm going to give you an insight to what we do in the CEO crowd. And if this helps you in your community, take it, use it. Oh my gosh, the more people can be doing this, the better. Is we're making our first co working session of the month social media specific, and we're extending it to a 90-minute session as opposed to an hour session. So, that's going to be really helpful for our women becoming consistent on social media and not having to do it alone, because I think that it's such a lonely task for people to do. And sometimes when you're not there to bounce off other people, and you increase your productivity being in a room of productive people by, I believe it's something like 17%. I would have to check that statistic. I always say that statistic wrong, so I would Google it. But the fact is that you're going to be more productive, whether it's 1% or it's 17% or 70%. You're going to be more productive when you're in that room. So that's something that we're doing to help women with that, because oh my gosh, like that's absolutely accurate. I would say the exact same thing for my business too, is that posting every day on social media, we don't even do it. I'm just gonna be honest. I do not post every day on social media. I'm on my stories pretty much every day, with the exception of like Christmas and New Year. But I think that it's something that's really playing on people. And I think that that comparison element hurts people. And I think that the confidence behind that is something that people get to work on. But if you can give people a space to actually come and do the work and feel supported, I think it's the best thing that we can do alongside all of that mindset work that female entrepreneurs be doing. We've been reading all the books, we're on all the courses, we've bought all the things, we know, but the actual doing of it is the challenge. So that's how we're helping. And pain point number 2 that we were finding in our market research was, interestingly, self-confidence. So it's kind of a knock-on effect. It was almost like social media is my problem, and underneath it was like, oh, but I don't feel that confident. So a few things to know. A quote that we had direct from one of our one-to-one sessions is, it's all mindset. When I'm having bad times, it's hard not to judge myself. Oh, we've all felt that one. And if you haven't, I'm so happy for you, because like I said, that comparison, that like judgment, it just takes us out the game. And confidence is a real part of that. A question that we got was, when will I be good enough? Oh, my heart. This came in a form, and I just like got so sad when I read it, because I mean, I've felt that in the past, and I don't know if you have, and I hope that you haven't, but I think that for most of us, then we have asked that question, and it's just really, really hard. So my kind of personal reflection on self-confidence was everyone's talking about mindset, and this concept of self-confidence as well as self-belief was coming up really on repeat. And it wasn't actually with an attitude of self-deprecation, right? It was more from a place of knowing it's a muscle that they can build with the right support. So I don't think it's like all shades of the drama. I think that it's something that women are getting over. I think that we're doing the work and we're seeing the results, and it's little by little and it's growing the muscle, and those little hints and tips and perspectives really did soothe a few souls in the one-to-one that we did to do this market research. We get to give like a little bit of nugget of coaching, which I'm always game for. So that was really fun. So I do think that it's not all the drama. This is not like the biggest pain point. I know I'm calling it a pain point, but I think it's just something that we're really aware of and working on, and something that we're doing at the CEO Crowd to support our squad to grow their confidence is to bring in core content. So that'll be in the form of a video course, and it's around belief. So we actually have a whole vibes framework. I developed it since I've been coaching for nearly a decade, and it's visualization, implementation, belief, energy, and social learning. And we're going to really expand on belief coming into the new year and into February. And next, we've got pain point number 3. It is last but not least, and it is balance. I know you're not shocked. It's balance. And one of the quotes that we had direct from one of our one-to-one calls was, when my service work increases, my lead generation and sales decrease. So sometimes it's within the business itself. We've also heard it from moms. It's like, my kids have a game, my partner's away, I'm cleaning the house, I'm doing all the things, I'm working, and now I have my business slapped on top, and it's always the thing that's last. And then after my business, that's my self-care, because I'm not good at that either. And I say that with the most love in my heart for anyone that feels that way and that puts their business above their self-care, because we all know that it almost has to be the flip. You have to take care of yourself so that you can actually show up for your family, for your work, for your business. But alas, it's a challenge. I'm not going to say that it's not. So, no matter what the chaos is in your life, whether it's purely in your business or whether there's chaos going on outside of that, trying to balance everything is a struggle. And it's interestingly a struggle that women get asked about way more than dudes. And another thing that we had a question on was, how do I manage more than I'm already doing? Eek, like truth. Like how do you manage more than you're already doing when you feel like all of your energy is like everywhere? That's so challenging. So what I was feeling, and I'm just like giving you the vibe, what I was feeling when people were answering this was, when we asked women to describe a typical workday. Another great question if you're working with entrepreneurs is, describe a typical workday. Or if you're working with someone on self-care, like, describe a typical day. Or if you're looking into their health routine, describe a typical day so you know how much time they spend sitting and all the things. So it's genuinely a great question across the board, but it's really important for entrepreneurs. And when they were describing a pretty typical work day, it meant they worked pretty much all day. It was like, I have self care time or family time in the morning, and then I work, and then I have a long lunch, and then my kids come home from school, and I've still been working during that long lunch, and then I see to my kids or I see to my partner, and then in the evening I'm working again. And I'm like, oh, we're just working all the time. No wonder we don't feel like we have balance. We're working all the time. And there was a lot of talk around how, in order to grow, it's on me to take more action. And like, let's be honest, a lot of these women were already like on the brink of burnout. So, of course, balance is going to be a question. And that's so challenging. So, what we're doing to help, because the vibe for balance was really like, I need to take on more, I need to do more, because I work with a lot of high achievers. I don't know about you. I work with women that don't struggle to do the work. They struggle to keep doing the work because they've taken on so much, because they're amazing and they're incredible, but they maybe just taken on a little bit too much and they've not let some old things go, and now they're kind of stuck. And this is the kind of market research that we're getting. So what we're doing at the CEO Crowd to support this is we are well set up for this through mixing up our weekly sessions. And we have a book club and we rotate themes and we make sure that we don't do too much business, we don't do too much life. We make sure that there's like a harmony between the two. We keep our master classes. We'll have 1 month is very business focused, and the next month is a little bit more life centered, balance related, maybe. So we kind of shift them about so that women don't feel like they have to work all the time. So our women feel like they actually can take a breath. And our book club is the same. We mix up the themes. Sometimes it's finance, sometimes it's books that you need for your mindset. It's very innovative. The way that we do book club is not like, here's this book and you have to read it, because we don't like, we don't love, say we, I'm speaking for all of my squad, but definitely for myself. I will just say I don't love when things aren't customized to me. I think that I have made the most shifts in my life through customization, and I want to give that to other people too. So for me to say this is the book you have to read, we read a book a few months ago. I chose a book that I was reading. I shared what book I'm reading just in case anyone wants to read the same book. And it was god awful. It was such a poor call. I did not make a good call. So I'm so glad that we had women that read other books, because I think if we'd all read that book, we'd have been like, I mean, I am an entrepreneur, not necessarily a mathematician, and this book is very confusing. So I don't think that it's up to me to tell people what to do, but I like to lead in a direction where women can find a little bit more balance. And that's why we do our co-working sessions, is so that you come to a call not just to learn. We always learn. We always have a little Q&A, a little collaboration. It's fun. But you also do the work so that you feel like by showing up, you're actually doing something for your business. You're not taking time out. And we actually were listening to a podcast with Ali Abdaal and Ryan Holiday, myself and my husband, in the car today. How interesting this should come up. We were listening to this podcast and they were talking all about systems and productivity hacks. And Ryan Holiday was speaking about how most people pick a system, then they change the system and they try and optimize the system, and then they pick another one. And they never really learn one way of doing things. When if they just learned that one way of doing things, even though it might not be the best way in the world, they would have gotten so much further so much faster, because they wouldn't have wasted time and energy trying to constantly learn a new thing. I think constantly learning is great, but constantly learning in an area that is not doing the work is not necessarily serving. So we want people to come to our calls at the CEO Crowd membership and actually do the work. And that's why our networking group exists, so that women come to those calls and they actually get the support they need, and they can cut down the time, because we know they're struggling with balance. So something else we're integrating as of Q3 is that we'll no longer run masterclasses. And I spoke about this in a previous show. These times will be reserved for connecting and collaborating to really promote that time efficiency amongst our members, again, so that they can have better balance. So if you're looking to get a lot of market research done, I'm going to shameless plug right now, because we'd love to see you at one of our CEO Crowd networking events. They're totally free for your first time. We'd love to invite you along. And the schedule is out all the way through the month. So feel free to hit the link in the description and you'll be able to come along to one of our events. We'd love to see you there. And it will give you an opportunity to pitch your business to a room of potential buyers, or a room of women who may know someone, as well as actually get the support that you need right now to move forward and to help you with that balance. Maybe you need some accountability, that's social media, whatever it is you need. We strive to create that experience for you totally for free. So we'd invite you to come along. As I said, the details are in the show notes. And that is market research. I hope it was useful. Hit us up at the CEO Crowd across all platforms. We would love to hear from you in terms of how you're getting on with your market research. If you have any further market research questions, oh my goodness, please send them our way. We would love to create a whole show just for you with the answers, as well as help you in those DMs too. And until next week, as always, we'll be over here believing in you.